I mean, if you look around, if anybody knows, if you look around, like, I don't have an issue with meeting people. I mean, look at the employment letter from my partner. I do independent contractor. $100 for every enrollment. Enrollments, on a regular, on a day, it could be easily from 5 to 7 people. So I don't have an issue even with economic means meeting with people. That that's just what is. So when it comes to anything else, like personal, between me and a significant other, like, I don't see myself where I'm looking for a person to be with. Like I said, like, the last time I could even remember probably was I'm living with the person, right? And I'm moving already a certain way. The person already knows I'm moving a certain way because I'm being clear about it. Like, I'm being honest about it. Look, so I'm eating a different way. And before, with my first son, I was generally primary giving it. It was still there was still meat in the meals, although the animal was being fed plant-based. There was no hormones, there was no chemicals, there was no artificials. It's all the animal was eating was plant-based. And guess what? Guess what happened when my son was born? My son didn't want to eat meat. So I already know how the process, all the bacteria, all that thing that the meat holds and changes the DNA, my son wasn't taking in. My son was taking in all the nutriments and all the herbs and the plant-based food that the animal had inside. That's the only thing my son was interested in. I didn't have to tell my son that's the only thing that's healthy out of the animal. And I just started putting all the DNA things after my son was born. So he was still, I still had, like, even though he was rejecting it, I picked up on it after. I'm like, so he really, like, this really is what nature really picks up and tells you what health is and what to eat. So, afterwards was when I started saying, all right, we got to eliminate all this. And I was the first one to eliminate everything altogether between people around me, right? And my son, slowly, he was all the way up to, like, the last thing. Pork was way, like, long, like maybe 7 years or 7 years ago, or maybe like 5 to 7 years ago. Then everything else, like, then it was beef, and then the chicken. It was like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and then like 3 years and on, like, it was like turkey and fish, and then all vegetables and everything else, like natural herbs and vegetables and everything, right? So from there, it was just then fish, and my son was on that too. And me, from there, I stopped eating the fish. I'm straight, like, plant-based. So, but at that point, when I was just on the fish, like, I mean, I remember the last person, like, I'm like, if I touch this person gets preggo, like, just by looking at this person. And I already knew that if my son, my next child, had to be born with me and my individual plant-based, that's it. There was nothing more. So I had an individual in the picture maybe like 3 years ago. That's what I could remember the last time. And because that individual was practicing going towards the plant-based, although was going back from the turkey and fish, going back to the chicken, and then going back to everything else. And I wasn't gonna be interacting in certain ways with my body. Like, there ain't gonna be no chicken fingers over here. You ain't touching me with that. So it wasn't going there. And it wasn't a surprise. It wasn't something that individual didn't know about me. And I was expressing it throughout the years. It was one less meat until there was nothing, not even fish. So, like, I put that out. Like, there's not gonna be there's gonna be a certain frequency. There's gonna be a certain a body to be maintained. It has to be a primary source of energy, because my next born is gonna be primary source energy child. It's not gonna be anything less. So I'm not really like, I could see frequencies, I could see energy, and I'm not here to tell a person that I might be interested, like, all right, you're gonna have to do this, you're gonna have to do that. I'm just gonna be straight up. I don't really get, involved if it's not like this. Although I'm not saying for you to go out of your way for that. Although there's not gonna be a certain way, a certain interaction is not gonna be active. So I'm there my own with the individual living there, and there's no interaction in that field at all. And it doesn't bother me. It bothers me more that there's a pandemic and people don't even know how to cure themselves. People don't even know they taking superficial vaccine that gets them sick. They still practicing in things that are taking them more into more of that, and that's not going to hold you down, not even mentally, physically, or economically. It's going to send you to bed, and then you over here acting like you're supposed to be holding down a family, or you a man, you a woman, and you here looking on the TV to see what can you do for a human being. What is it that I need for myself? Because you don't know, but you know wealth, doctors, the best influence through all this stuff that don't teach you anything about. It's out of your nature, out of your practice. That not even your wealth or nothing even matters. So I'm concerned more of people being knowledgeable and education, and that's what all I've been doing. I've been posting before this happened, because I seen this already going. Like, before I was with my individual, before my firstborn, I knew what was gonna happen. So the individual had to be a high tolerance in the bacteria of that person that's holding back the bacteria. Had to be a good tolerance for what was gonna happen. I know it was gonna be a bad thing. I just didn't, it's not like I knew the label and what specific, but I knew it was gonna be a bad thing. So I had to pair with someone that was really tolerant of certain things, and I saw it from from how the person's behavior and the frequency and the energy. So, and also, like, I had to hold off on certain things of callings that was made for that specific time. So, I listen to all the communication that I get from above, from me, from nature, to be well, to produce well, to make this world, the land, a better place to be in for the future. I have a child, and I don't mind having another one. I have my boy. I don't mind, that girl should be, that's another one there that I really don't see why not. Although I'm not like out there seeking like that. I don't even date. And even when I had individual living, it's not about me being, oh my God, I haven't done this. It's not. I don't have that. But everything of me is. I'm really. You know what I mean. I'm I'm moving forward with my energy. I know what I'm manifesting through. I don't worry about these things. I really never did. And not because I always had an abundance of love and care around me. And, you know, when it comes to being attractive and being there, like being presentable, being well for a person mentally, physically, or economically, all around, I always had that right. I never had an issue, and anybody could tell you that has never been an issue with me. Never, ever. So for me to just live this way, then you gotta know that this ain't no game, this ain't no joke. If I'm telling you I'm gonna make my moves and I'll be better where else, Italy, France, like I'll be that. I'm not looking for like Scantron be around because I put certain things, bringing Italians and all this. Like I didn't ask for Italians to come here because you want me to. You think that I didn't ask nobody for anything. I know what I need to do. I know what I need to get, and I guess mines. No matter what, you know. So I'll be in France even if I don't know how to speak the language, and the I don't think anybody out in France and any individual will be hard to see if you know how to communicate. It probably be on something like ooh la la, oui, and I'm like, I'm gonna communicate. I'll be like, I'm like, ooh, we, you mean us? Yeah, you know, we could do that. You know, like I'll figure it out. But it's not something that I'm telling you like I have an issue with. I'm just saying I have a certain way that I'm gonna move with mine. So I can't even count the years, maybe 3 or 4 years where it's not, or more. That's not even something of my mind. Like I have my son, you know, like I need to take, like, you know, I'm still waiting for us to come together. It's looking like that's the way it's moving. You know, we're just waiting for reports on the home study and things like that, for he could come back home, and then we'll see how it goes from there, you know. And then I have to do a little bit more on the court to move forward, so I could fly out. So I don't know, you know. I want to give myself like another year before I'm able to within a year, you know, before I could make the moves, because I don't want to have any strings attached. I want to be able to make my moves like with no legal bounds and nothing attached. And I probably could do that sooner if this Scantron wasn't playing in the system and didn't play out to begin with, to get me and my son in this predicament. So I'm just moving along with mine. I'm not, like I said, I'm not out here looking and seeking. I don't feel lonely. I don't feel like I need to put my time in something that, you know, unless I'm talking to you and you know that this is my move and you coming with me, then that's a different thing. But I'm not even looking for that. So that's just it. You know, I could talk, I could have interest, I could look around. The world is good to look. There's colors, it's beautiful. I go sightseeing, I go grounding. You see, there's animals, the plants, they all distribute colors and they all distribute attraction so you to pick on it so you could enjoy energy from. I mean, just to look at an individual right next to me, if I want to feel a good vibe because they present themselves and they put themselves out there to give themselves and their presentation a good vibe, I pick up on that. That's a good thing. That's like the sun shining in every day, giving you energy. Like I'd rather be around that. I'm not a person that don't know how to be around wellness and well-being. I'm not concerned with anything else. I know that the world is you. If you want to be with somebody, you have to make sure the world that's outside and the world and the system you in and everything else is good. Why would you bring somebody into this world, or why would you want to be with somebody if you can't even, if you be sent to bed because you don't know how to, your body, and you don't know how life runs, because you were taught, everybody is taught to be in a box. You over here demonstrating how much money and all this other stuff wouldn't even matter when it comes to mentally, physically, economically, socially, bringing yourself up. When life hits you with nature, when life hits you with the truth, when life hits you with the knowledge, I want, I need that to grow. I need that to have my child here to show him, what's better. And if I'm gonna have a significant other next to me for my journey, for my spiritual journey companion, then we're gonna need to manifest in all of this. It's not gonna be, let's just go back to whatever that's how it gets you. That's all manipulation. And they're not doing anything different. It's superficial, and just get on with it, And then they have the next plan, they have the next thing going on. They already, all of this is might as well superficial is all fixed into a system that's out of your nature. They got the next thing for you. They have that next vaccine for you. They have the next payout for you if crisis mentally, physically, economically. But that's not things that's going to take you out of it. It's not things that are going to cheat you to be mentally, physically, economically over all these things. It's not. You already see that it's not. And I don't have an issue moving the way I'm moving.